Hyleys Slim Tea is essentially a blend of two different types of tea, green tea and Senna tea. Senna tea is known for its ability to act as a stimulant laxative, which can assist with constipation but doesn't have any impact on weight loss. Green tea, on the other hand, is sometimes used to support weight loss, which I'll talk about a bit more later in the video. But you might be wondering, what then is the difference between Hyleys Slim Green Tea and regular generic green tea? We can easily compare Hyleys Slim Tea to regular green tea, since Hyleys provides a chemical breakdown of their green tea. Green tea contains several beneficial compounds, but two important ones are the green tea catechins like ECGC, which act as antioxidants, and L-theanine, an amino acid that can boost cognitive function and reduce stress. Unfortunately, the exact proportions of green tea and Senna tea in their bag remains a mystery since it's a proprietary blend and doesn't show the exact amounts. Let's assume conservatively that each tea bag of Hyleys Slim Tea contains roughly half green tea and half Senna tea. A typical generic green tea bag provides approximately 50 to 100 milligrams of catechins, which means that half a tea bag yields about 25 to 50 milligrams of catechins. In Hyleys Slim Tea, we estimate that half a bag's worth of green tea provides around 30 milligrams of catechins. So in terms of antioxidant content, such as ECGC, Hyleys Slim Tea is on par with regular green tea. In fact, it seems to be on the lower end of the scale regarding antioxidant and catechin content. Now let's shift our focus to L-theanine. In regular green tea, you'll find anywhere from 2.6 to over 10 milligrams of L-theanine per gram of green tea. So half a tea bag, or about 0.7 grams of generic green tea, should contain anywhere from 1.3 to over 5 milligrams of L-theanine. Hyleys Slim Tea lists 2.3 milligrams of L-theanine per bag. Again, this suggests that Hyleys Slim Tea is similar to generic green tea in terms of L-theanine content, and again leaning toward the lower end of the scale. So the green tea in Hyleys Slim Tea doesn't appear to be significantly different from generic green tea. In fact, based on its antioxidant and L-theanine content, it's likely of slightly lower quality compared to regular green tea. With that in mind, how effective is green tea in general for weight loss? Green tea is known for its caffeine and catechin content, and it's these two compounds that are thought to play a role in its weight loss effects. Caffeine, found in many different foods and beverages like coffee, has a small impact on weight loss by itself. In fact, research seems to show that the differences in weight loss in studies that use green tea might be due to differences in their caffeine content, with teas higher in caffeine showing more reliable weight loss effects. So the question we should ask is whether green tea offers any additional benefits beyond caffeine, because if not, it's no better for weight loss than other caffeinated teas like black or oolong tea. So let's look at the catechin content, especially epigallocatechin gallate or ECGC, which is more associated specifically with green tea. Research suggests that green tea extract high in these catechins can contribute to additional weight and visceral fat reduction. However, the amount of ECGC required to see any additional benefit seems to be quite high. A meta-analysis of 25 trials found that people taking green tea containing caffeine had an average weight loss of 1.8 kilograms, but this effect was only seen in those taking green tea containing 500 to 800 milligrams of ECGC daily. Catechin doses lower than this don't seem to provide the same weight or fat loss benefits. To get the minimum 500 milligrams of ECGC, you need to drink around 8 cups of generic green tea or more per day, or about 16 cups of Hyleys Slim Tea daily. But Hyleys recommends a maximum of 3 cups per day, and for good reason. This is because Hyleys Slim Tea also contains Senna, a stimulant laxative, and excessive intake of Senna tea can lead to a number of digestive issues. Prolonged use of Senna can create a dependence on stimulant laxatives, causing constipation when not using it, and potentially harm the colon's natural function. Most experts recommend using Senna for no longer than a week. Considering these factors, trying to get enough ECGC and the practical use of Hyleys Slim Tea for weight loss is questionable at best. Besides, when it comes to sources of ECGC, it's a bit of a myth that green tea is the only way to get it. Although coffee, herbal teas, and black tea doesn't contain much ECGC, many other teas like oolong tea and white tea do contain it. In fact, white tea tends to have higher concentrations of ECGC than green tea. That being said, matcha, a powdered form of green tea, is believed to offer significantly more ECGC because the entire powder is consumed, unlike the other teas where the leaves are steeped and then discarded. Regardless, there are other teas that also have caffeine and ECGC levels comparable to green tea. This leads to questions about whether green tea's weight loss benefits are unique, or if other teas can also aid in weight loss. It's an intriguing question, and the only thing I can say for sure is that while there is research on other teas and their possible benefits for obesity, green tea has been the subject of many more studies than any other tea. Why? It could be due to the green tea's widespread popularity and accessibility, or maybe a specific push from the green tea industry, although it's hard to say for sure. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that green tea is superior to other teas. In fact, when you examine the chemical composition of various teas, it suggests that teas like oolong and white tea may be equally effective in supporting weight loss. They just lack the clinical studies to back it up at the moment, for whatever reason. Let's quickly discuss the use of laxatives such as Senna tea for weight loss. Some people turn to laxatives with the idea that they can quickly purge the food they've eaten, hoping it will reduce calorie absorption. This approach is often associated with individuals struggling with eating disorders like bulimia, who try to rid their bodies of food through methods such as vomiting or abusing laxatives, sometimes both. However, it's essential to understand that relying on laxatives to manage body weight is not effective. Research on eating disorders indicate that people are able to control their weight primarily through dietary restraint, which includes not eating or inducing vomiting, rather than through the use of laxatives. Therefore, using laxatives for weight loss is not only ineffective, but also potentially hazardous, as I've talked about before. And if someone is using laxatives for weight management, it might be a red flag, signaling a need for counseling and evaluation to determine if they have or are at risk of developing an eating disorder. Overall, Hyleys Slim Tea is just a mixture of regular, likely lower quality, green tea and Senna tea. They sell for anywhere from 12 to 40 cents a bag. A higher quality organic green tea, which would honestly be better to support weight loss, can be purchased for 9 to 10 cents a bag. And generic Senna tea bags are also around 9 to 10 cents a bag. So Hyleys Slim Tea may not be worth it, and you'd get better results from taking regular organic green tea or even matcha powder. Rating Hyleys Slim Tea by effectiveness for weight loss, I'm giving it a D. Drinking regular green tea is more likely to be effective. Just keep in mind that realistically, you'd need to drink a lot of green tea for any perceivable benefits. Rating it by cost, I'm giving it a B. They're more expensive than regular green tea, but they do have the option of having different flavors. Regardless, I think it would only be cost effective if you could get them at under 12 cents a bag. Rating it for safety, I'm giving it a C. Green tea is safe for most people, however, I'm really not a fan of the Senna content, since long-term use can potentially cause gastrointestinal issues. Overall rating, I'm giving a C. While I would recommend just drinking regular green tea, if you suffer from constipation from say a high protein or keto diet and enjoy some of the flavors that Hyleys Slim Tea offers, it could be somewhat helpful for you. Just don't expect it to actually do much for weight loss. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date and share this video with someone you know who can use the info.